This is Francisco. It's the 19th outermost moon of Uranus, and this is the only image taken of this tiny moon. So again, I'll be using a trusty stock image of a rock to represent it from this point on. In case you're wondering, those elongated smudges around the moon are actually stars in the background. They look smeared because the image had to be processed in order to uncover the moon hidden amongst the starlight, which kinda sounds like the title for a Muse album if you think about it. Discovered by Matt Holman and his team in the August of 2001, Francisco was initially dubbed S2001U3, before being named after an empathetic lord from Shakespeare's play, The Tempest. Now, Francisco orbits Uranus with an average radius of 4.2 million kilometers, about 4 million further out than the next innermost moon called Oberon. With an orbit that's distant, inclined, and retrograde, Francisco is classed as an irregular moon, meaning it's quite likely to also be a captured moon. In other words, an asteroid that was caught in the gravitational pull of Uranus as it flew by. Although, considering there are several other Uranian moons with similar-ish orbits, there's a chance these tiny moons could be the remnants of a larger orbiter. Now, the largest of the outer irregular moons of Uranus is one called Sycorax, and it's thought it used to be a lot bigger. At one point in its past, Sycorax is thought to have undergone a destructive impact that threw up huge fragments into space. These fragments were then caught in the gravitational pull of Uranus and became the outer moons we see today. Now, this is just an educated guess at this point, but it's quite likely to explain the origin for Francisco and the other outer moons of Uranus. Apart from Margaret, but that one's a bit of an enigma and a different story for a future video. And that's all there is to talk about regarding this little Uranian moon, so it's time to pit Francisco the moon against San Francisco the city. First round, who is larger? Well, San Francisco has an area of 121 square kilometers, but with a radius of 11 kilometers and assuming the moon is circular, a slice of Francisco would have an area of 380 square kilometers. So, point to Francisco. Round 2, who is heavier? Weighing a whole city is a bit tricky, but a legend over at Thrillist.com gave a thorough breakdown of the mass of Manhattan Island. There's a link for it in the description below. As Manhattan is 60 kilometers squared, about half the size of San Francisco, I'm going to use a very crude estimation and simply double the weight of the island, giving San Fran a mass of 227 billion kilograms. But Francisco the moon has an estimated mass of 7.2 quadrillion kilograms, over 31,000 times heavier than the Golden Gate City. Truly dominating this round. Point to Francisco. Round 3, which is easier to escape from? Now we have the moon's size and mass to hand, it's easy to determine the escape velocity of Francisco. In other words, how fast do you need to be travelling to escape the gravitational pull of the Uranian moon? Plugging in the numbers to this equation, you'd need to be going about 34 kilometers an hour to escape the pull of Francisco. Now, I know you're thinking you could easily go faster than that on the highways out of Frisco, but can you actually? Almost always, no. The average speed on the highways out of the city is 28 kilometers an hour, apart from a few windows at 4 AM where you can get up to the perilously high speeds of 33 to 35 kilometers an hour. So it's often always easier to escape from Francisco than the foggy city. So far, Francisco is in the lead, but since I'm running out of nicknames for Shaky Town, it's time for the lightning round. Number of bridges? Point to San Francisco. Number of breweries? Point to San Francisco. Number of places to get burritos? Point to San Francisco. Number of movies set there? Obviously San Francisco. Number of island-based prisons? San Francisco. Looking at the final scores, and it's obvious that the city by the bay is the clear winner. Well, it is at least for a chronic hipster like me.